3. Chapter 6. The weightlifting contest. Who do we know that does weightlifting or used to do weightlifting? Your granddad, who held the longest held weightlifting record in Australia. Your granddad. Yeah, but he lost it after 30 years, so it doesn't count anymore. Back to the weightlifting contest. It was a real scorcher. The hottest day of summer so far. Einstein had got up early, a bit grumpily because he was still sleepy, packed his swimming trunks, towel and lunch. Well, if they're saying swimming trunks, that's New South Wales, isn't it? We have bathers down here in Victoria. The rest of the family was just getting up when he went off to meet Margaret at the bus stop. They were going to the town beach. The bus made its way through Sparta, stopping at every other street corner. Most of the passengers who got on the bus were children heading for the beach. Soon the bus was filled to overflowing. Everybody was chattering away and happy at the thought of getting into the water and cooling off. Yes. Just finished painting another window. Got another couple of coats to go. That's the big picture window out to the view. Einstein and Margaret were deep in conversation with each other and with friends nearby. Suddenly Margaret poked Einstein in his ribs. Einstein jumped. "What did you do that for, Margaret?" he asked, rubbing his side. Margaret pointed to two boys who'd just got on the bus and were making their way up the crowded aisle. "Look who's there," she said. "Everybody's favourite people. Pat the Brat and his shadow, Herman." Einstein slumped down in his seat. "I hope they don't see me," he said. "The last time I saw Pat, I won 5 arm punches because I knew why his dog howled." Margaret shook her head in bewilderment. "What are you talking about? What does a howling dog have to do with you, 5 arm punches and Pat?" Einstein didn't answer because just then Pat and Herman saw him and pushed their way over to him. Pat scowled down at him. "Well, if it isn't the genius Einstein. I didn't know you were going to the beach today. I'll have to think up a contest, one that has 10 arm punches as a prize. And this contest is one I'm going to win because it's not going to need any brains." "That's the only kind of contest you have any chance of winning, Pat," said Margaret. Pat glared at Margaret but didn't answer. The first and last time he'd picked on Margaret, she'd socked him a good one in the eye. As a result, he'd gone around with a black eye for a week. Pat told everybody that he'd bumped into a doorknob until someone said, "Yeah," at the end of Margaret's fist. After that, Pat left Margaret strictly alone. "I'll see you on the beach," Pat said to Einstein. "Sure," said Einstein. We'll be looking for you and then going the other way," he added under his breath. Einstein wasn't afraid of Pat. He just saw no reason to fight with him. The bus stopped at the beach. Children scattered in all directions. Soon they were swimming, eating, playing ball and sunning themselves. Everybody was in a happy mood, except when they spotted Pat and Herman coming towards them. Pat and Herman came up to Einstein and Margaret, who were building a sandcastle at the edge of the water. Pat was about to step on the castle when he noticed the look in Margaret's eyes. He took a step back and then spoke to Einstein. Einstein, this is a contest that we're going to have. Whoever can lift the heaviest weight punches the loser in the arm 10 times. Ready? Einstein looked at the water lapping at his feet. He pushed back his glasses and thought about it for a minute. It's a silly sort of contest, said Einstein, but I'm willing to try it with a few conditions. What kind of conditions? Asked Pat. First of all, each person gets only one chance to lift the heaviest weight he can find. Second, he can lift the weight anywhere he wants. Einstein saw Margaret begin to smile. Pat thought about that for a while. What difference would it make where a person lifted a weight? Finally he said, "Okay, Einstein, you're on. The weight that I'm going to lift is you." Pat went over to Einstein and placed his hands under Einstein's armpits. Grunting with the strain, he slowly lifted Einstein off the beach. "Now it's your turn," said Pat nastily. "Who are you going to lift? Me?" "That's exactly who I'm going to lift," Einstein said. "Just come over here." Aha! Now, can you solve the puzzle? How could Einstein lift Pat, who was heavier? What difference could it make where Einstein did the lifting? They're down at the beach. What's down at the beach? Water. I'm just wondering. Let's see what his secret solution is. Where? Asked Pat. Into the water, Einstein said. Follow me into the water until I tell you to stop. Einstein waded into the water, with Pat following behind him. Einstein stopped when the water was up to his neck. Then he turned to Pat and said, "Here's where I'm going to lift you." Einstein put his arms around Pat and lifted him with ease. Herman was watching all this from the beach. His mouth dropped open when he saw Einstein lift Pat. "How could you lift Pat so easily?" he called. "Because Pat weighs less in water than he does in air," explained Einstein. "Water has a lifting force called buoyancy. As long as most of Pat's body is below the water, it's easy to lift him. It just proves that you need brains as well as strength when you try to do anything." "Okay, Einstein, you can put me down now," said Pat. Einstein smiled. "I think I've already put you down, Pat," he said as he let go of him. Well, so the water did play a part in making him feel lighter because of buoyancy. Okay, time for bed. So what are we going to say? Toilet, teeth, bed. Now we do the light. Go 1, 2, 3. Night, night, darling. Love you. Bye.